Okay guys, welcome back to Harvest Moon Farm. My name is Mickey, if this is your first time visiting my channel. And we're continuing on today with our fall baking series. Today we're focusing on maple flavor profiles. So we've got 3 different things that we are going to make today. I've got a maple cookie, maple blondies, and maple donut bars. So let me gather up a few things and we'll get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is make some maple cookies. These look really good. Brown sugar maple cookies. Soft, chewy brown sugar cookies with real maple syrup and a smooth maple glaze. Oh, I can't wait to try these. Okay, so we're going to start with our butter and brown sugar. So we need 3/4 cup of unsalted butter. I only have salted, that's all I ever have, that's what we're going to use. So 3/4 of a cup would be 1.5 sticks. And I am going to go ahead and just cut this in pieces so that it blends up a little easier. Alright, there's our 1.5 sticks. And I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 350 degrees. And then we want 1 cup of light brown sugar. And you do want to pack your brown sugar when you use it. There we go. Then we're just going to let this mix in our blender until it's light and fluffy. That'll take probably 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to start slow so I don't throw sugar everywhere. Okay, so now we're going to add 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup. Our vanilla. We'll do 1 egg and 1/4 cup of our maple syrup. Okay, and then we're going to mix that all together until it's fully combined and smooth. Now we're going to go ahead and mix our dry ingredients together. We're going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, to our flour we want to add 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, oh, I put that I put that in the wrong bowl. Should have gone in the dry ingredients, but that's okay. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to stir that up. Now we want to gradually add our dry ingredients to our wet mixture. And we're going to mix it until it's just mixed. We don't want to overdo it. this off my beater. I'm going to give it a couple of stirs with my spatula, or my spatula, just to make sure that there's no dry flour in there. Then I'm going to move this to another bowl and we're going to chill it. So we're going to chill this for an hour. The author says that you can chill it up to 24 hours. So if you wanted to make it the night before, or you made it and you didn't have a chance to bake them. So I'm just going to put it in this bowl. And we want to cover it with plastic wrap, and then we're just going to stick it in the refrigerator. Okay, while those chill, we're going to go ahead and start working on our maple blondie. So I've got a 9x13 pan here. I'm just going to spray it with some pan spray. Set that to the side. We're going to mix all of our wet ingredients together in our stand mixer. We need 1 whole egg, and 3 egg yolks. There's our whole egg. There's 1 yolk, 2, and here's our last one. And I am going to save these egg whites because with the price of eggs, I can't stand the thought of throwing that away. So we'll do something different with those egg whites. We want 1/3 cup of maple syrup. One and a half cups of brown sugar. And like always, we're going to pack this. There's 1 cup. And there's our 1/2 cup. I'll go ahead and fill my container up now with the rest of my brown sugar in this bag. Two teaspoons of vanilla. One stick of butter melted. While we're melting our butter, we're going to go ahead and get the dry ingredients together. Flour, salt, baking soda, and cinnamon. 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. One teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. We'll stir these together. So here's our butter. It's almost all the way melted. The bowl is really hot. Now we want to mix our wet ingredients and our brown sugar all together until it's well mixed. Next, we're going to go ahead and mix our dry ingredients into the wet ingredients until it's also combined. Give this a stir with my spatula once I get the beater cleaned off, just to make sure that there's no flour dried in the bottom. And it looks good. We're just going to take our pan that we prepared and we're just going to put our batter in that. We want to just spread that out. And now we're going to bake this for 20 to 24 minutes in our 350-degree oven. So to prep our pan, we either want to spray it with a baking spray that's already got flour in it, or we want to spray it and then add some flour, because we don't want our bars to stick after we go to all that work to make them. Just gonna tilt my pan around until it's coated with the flour. Just a little bit extra. I'm gonna dump that back in the trash. Now we're gonna start on our batter for that. We wanna start with our dry ingredients. We want 2 cups of flour. 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon salt. We're going to mix that all together. We'll set this to the side now. The recipe calls for buttermilk, which I don't have, so I'm going to substitute it by adding 1/2 tablespoon of lemon juice. So we want 1/2 cup of milk, buttermilk if you have it, otherwise we're just going to make our own substitute. I'm just going to let that sit for a couple minutes. 2 large eggs, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And I just realized I skipped something. We also need 1/4 cup, which will be 1/2 stick of butter melted. We want our butter melted but not hot, so I'm going to pour it in there mostly melted, and then we'll just use the mixer to mix it all up. And now we're going to use our spatula. We're going to use our spatula to stir in our dry ingredients. And we want to stir them in until they're just combined. We don't want to over mix them or the bars will end up kind of tough. The author says it's okay to have a few lumps in here, so I'm just making sure I don't have any dry flour or sugar at the bottom of my pan or my bowl. Then we're just going to put it into our pan just like we did with our blondies. Spread it into our pan. All right, when our blondies are done, we're going to bake this 20 to 25 minutes in our 350-degree oven. Maple blondies. They look amazing. They smell amazing. I'm going to set them right here on this cooling rack and we'll let them cool, and then we'll add the glaze once they've cooled. And then I put the donut bars in the oven, same time frame, same temperature, 350 for 20 to 24 minutes, and then we'll see how those go. By the time those come out, our cookies dough will have been cooling long enough that we can go ahead and get our maple cookies going as well. Our maple cookie dough's been in the fridge now for an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and start scooping it out. I'm using my medium scoop. We're just going to scoop it out, roll it into a ball, and put it on our cookie sheet. I've got a piece of parchment paper on it. I think we can get 12 of these on here. Probably by the time I have both these trays ready, our donut bars will be done baking and we can let those cool. It seems like all the recipes that I've done so far with cookies have wanted the cookies to be ginormous. Right, there's the first tray. Go ahead and get the next tray ready. About to fall. The author says the reason that you want to chill this dough is so that it doesn't spread so much when you're baking them, and also she said it kind of enhances the flavors of the cookie. So we might get 2 dozen cookies here, maybe, not sure. Yep, we're gonna get 2 dozen. Oh, maybe. These last 2 might be a little small. That's okay. They won't be that much smaller. Just a hair. So those 2 trays are ready. We've got a couple more minutes on our donut bars, and then I'll see if those are done and we can take those out and let them cool. We'll get our cookies in the oven. So our donut bars, are out of the oven. They are done now. I got the 2 trays of cookies in the oven now, and they will bake about 10 to 12 minutes at 350. We're gonna give those a couple more minutes. I had a couple that really spread, did some crazy things, but the rest of them look good, so we're good. All right, so there is the first tray. Here's the second tray. Had a few cookies that did weird things. I'm gonna let these cookies cool down some, then I'm gonna put them on the cooling rack. We're gonna let everything cool completely, and then we'll start the glaze. So there's a frosting for the cookies and a frosting / glaze for the donut bars and the maple blondies. And then we'll get those all frosted, glazed, whatever, and they'll be all done. Okay guys, so I apologize, but my last clip for this maple video disappeared. I think I deleted it by accident. What's missing is where I made the frosting glaze for each of these. So these maple cookie recipes, which I'm eating this one as we speak, the glaze was powdered sugar, maple syrup, milk, and butter. And you just mix that all up, and we just put a glaze on these cookies. It's real good. For our blondies, we had powdered sugar, maple syrup, vanilla, cinnamon, and milk. We just whipped all that together and just put it on our blondies. And for our donut bars, it was just powdered sugar and maple syrup. I do think I did add a little bit of milk to it because I couldn't get it thin enough without it being way too sweet. So these all turned out amazing. You can see that we've gotten into these already. So again, I apologize that I lost this last clip. I'm not sure what happened. Everything turned out great, and so I'm sorry. I hope that you enjoyed this video, minus this last clip that I'm missing. If you enjoyed it, please go down and hit that thumbs up button. That really helps me out. And I've got plenty more fall baking videos coming up. So I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Bye guys.